Welcome to another episode of the Lovers and Things podcast.
Where your favorite couple's favorite couple
Talks about the things they love. I'm
Wow.
Lex.
And I'm Greg.
And welcome to another episode, guys.
Another episode, y'all.
We're so excited. You know anything different? I mean, anything new
I'd like
going on?
to take a guess.
Anything new?
We are in the studio.
We are in the studio. Welcome.
We're in the studio, y'all.
Yeah. If you guys are listening audioly, then you won't notice much of a change. But for those of you who follow us on Instagram, or if you just happen to be on YouTube, you'll see that, we have full faces now.
Yeah.
You
So
can see us.
we are officially launching.
Woo!
Everything before today was, just
all 46
test.
episodes before this,
Test.
fun and games.
Test. This is our first episode.
Our first real episode.
Oh, everything was real.
I mean, first,
Minus the fact that it was fake.
our first, visual episode.
First visual episode. Look at us.
Which is major. Can we talk about how long it took to get here? Like the process a little bit.
Yes.
Because you've led it, I'd say.
Sure.
Pretty much on your own.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about video is there's so many more elements that have to be in play.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk shop too much.
Okay.
But there's lighting, there's
Yep.
cameras,
Yeah.
there's this,
There's this
all of this.
this thing.
We got to get all this together,
yeah.
which took time and
Mhm.
some strategy and all that and us talking. But
Yeah.
I'm happy that we're here.
I'm happy that we're here too. It's just kind of like, oh my gosh, now
Yeah.
that people are watching
We're
as
adding
well as hearing.
we're adding dimensions
Adding
to the
dimensions.
lovers and things world.
Ah, I love it. It feels so good. Well, thank you, babe. Shout out to you for making this happen for us.
Yeah, and I guess everyone knows who to complain to
Yeah.
if this isn't good.
It's Greg.
Complain to me, yeah.
Not Lex.
Okay, I like how you just threw me under the bus there.
Fully a Greg venture.
I see you. I see you on that.
I can play HR though, no problem.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the pod. So how was your week? How's life?
Life has been good.
Mhm.
I've come to realize that
Mhm.
I don't have dress to impress clothes.
Oh.
I saw this thing that said like dress to impress this event. And I
Okay.
was like, oh, we should go there. And I was
Yeah.
thinking, what is my dress to impress clothes? I don't think I
Oh.
got that.
That's interesting. Okay, so dress to impress out of category is like your good stuff. I'm going to the concert. I'm going to the
Yeah.
cinema. I'm going to the opera.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that and I was like, I don't think I've got something to deliver.
Oh no.
I don't think anyone's gonna be impressed with what I got.
No, I don't think that's true though, babe.
I th-
I think you've got a really good assortment of stuff.
I've got good baseline clothes. I just don't
Okay.
got nothing's impressive. I'm gonna say that for sure.
Nothing's impressive.
I don't
I
think I got
disagree.
anything to impress.
I disagree. I think your style has transitioned from I would say a little more dapper.
Okay.
No, honestly, it's transitioned from less traditional Southern dapper to more Northern sort of minimalistic modern.
Mhm.
But I think that was an intentional choice.
It was
So I
intentional.
would not say that you don't have dress to impress. You probably just don't know what dress to impress is in your new era yet.
I think
Eh?
I think it's good for day to day. So I
Okay.
guess you're saying obviously I think we're both saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out. I got to figure it out. You just presented it really nicely.
That's my job.
So I think I've got the baseline down. I just
Yeah.
don't have the impress, and
I
I feel like
see.
that's where I need to start to hone in because I feel like I've understood my themes. I think I want to have a brutalistic look.
Mhm.
I want it to look a little. I want to look very casual, very not casual. I want to look very cozy.
Okay.
Is the word I would use.
Mhm.
But I also want it to look like kind of badass.
I see.
And
Yeah.
a little brutal.
And I feel like that's fair.
So I've got to find that
You gotta find
in
your
the
jam.
impress category.
That's what I mean. Like you just have to find it for the era that you're in now.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'm embarking on this journey, y'all.
I love that for
I'll
you.
try to document it.
Okay.
I love signing up for work that probably not going to do, but I will try
Listen.
to document it.
Okay.
But I think we can find it because we
I
have a
think you
very
can too.
very special date coming up.
Yeah,
Very
we
occasion
do.
coming up.
It's my birthday, y'all. I'm a January baby. I'm an end of the season Capricorn, if you will.
Mhm.
So this year I was like, just transition a little bit.
Yeah.
Last year I feel like every year for my birthday, honestly, in the last 5 years, we've done something pretty big. We've gone to Tulum. We've been to the Bahamas recently. Like
Bahamas.
we've done the things for my birthday.
Okay.
We've done city nights in New York. Like we've done the things. But this year I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go anywhere per se. I just kind of want to do intentional things. But it is still special.
You don't want to go anywhere?
No, I don't want to
Y'all
like
heard that?
no.
Wait, she doesn't want to. So we
I
at the
don't want to
house?
go. I ain't say at the house. I don't want to go out of the state.
Okay.
I don't
all
want to go
right.
out of the state.
Okay, I'll receive
I
that.
don't have to be in Tulum this year.
Okay. This is Lex taking a break, y'all.
Yeah, I'm taking a break
Only
from
within
travel.
the 48 continental. What is the word?
Continental U.S.
Continental U.S.
Yeah, the other
this is
49, get rid of them. I only want to be in New York / Jersey area.
You'd be
this
willing
year.
to go to a different state.
No.
Oh, you want to stay local?
I want to stay local.
Oh, so not the continental.
Yeah, no,
US
that's what I'm saying.
state.
Yeah, not the continental U.S. Only the New Jersey,
the tri-state
New York
area.
The tri-state area.
Okay.
That's all I want to
Okay.
do this year. I want to keep it light.
You want to keep it light and sprite.
Very
I'm
intentional. Largely because, like, you go on vacations and you come back and you need time to recover from the vacation. You need recover
true.
time for.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through all
work.
that. Huh?
Vacation is kind of work.
It absolutely is. The packing and the planning, all lots of fun. But I think this year I just kind of like want to take it slow. Famous last words. This man is looking at me like,
I love this. But I think we'll keep it light. Our light is like a weekend in the city.
We'll do a week. Yeah, that'd be nice. Like a weekend in the city. We'll go to our key restaurants that we want to see. Maybe we can see something at the Lincoln Center.
Okay.
And then, maybe we'll do, who knows?
Yeah, a little bit of shopping.
A little bit of shopping.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
Really casual.
So that's what's been kind of on my mind. That and like wrapping up this year really strong. Like I want to end on a high note. As you guys know, this is our last episode for the year, which is crazy.
Can you guys believe it?
That's
made it.
Wild.
We made it.
And in this year, this will be our 47th episode.
47th, yeah.
Of season 2 of Lovers and Things.
Yeah. First season was short because we started like fall.
Towards the end of the year.
So season 3, we're coming back. Obviously, we're gonna embark on this new chapter. Of the Lovers
of you guys looking at our faces.
Of y'all looking at us and us trying to engage with y'all a bit more.
Yeah, I'm excited, but I think it's been a really good year for us. If I'm to be completely honest, like I think from a podcast perspective, we did things that we've been wanting to do. We've stretched ourselves. We stayed relatively consistent. I gotta give us that too. Like we stayed pretty consistent. Like it's been a good year.
And it was fun. I think the most rewarding thing about doing this, like we were like, why don't we just? I don't know how we got to this recording a podcast thing. I don't even remember the origin of this.
I think we were just talking about it because Greg, the way we be talking is the way we talk to each other, like genuinely all day.
Yeah.
So we were like, we should just record.
Put a mic.
Okay. That's literally kind of
how it started.
That's how it happened, babe.
Okay, so it started from that, but I think another layer of this, as much fun as we have, just going back and forth between us.
Yeah.
Listen to each other speak. But the other aspect is like the connection we had with all the people.
Yes.
Like all the engagement on like all the people messages, all the messages.
It's really kind of cool.
It's like the cackles are communal. It's a communal cackle, right?
It's a communal cackle.
I feel like every time we're cackling, I feel the cackles reverb through the nation.
I agree with
with
you.
Our listeners.
I agree with you. This year was a really good year for just general engagement and interaction. Yeah. And that's all y'all. Like y'all did that. Yeah. We didn't do that. Y'all did that for us and the Lovers and Think fam. And like, so shout out to y'all.
Yeah, and it's fun for us. Like just have this talking back and forth has just been so much fun.
Yeah.
These cackles are genuine.
And it's funny too, and this is like more of a personal note, but it's like Greg and I you guys know we've been together for 14-ish years.
14. It hasn't been 14 yet.
Not yet.
I want to say we met 2011 was the year we met.
What's 2011 to 2020? 2024.
2024. That's like 13.
I was close.
You was close, yeah. We're getting there.
13 years. We've been together for 13 years. And like, it's funny because you remember the inception of your relationship. And like, the iterations that it has gone through and everything.
Yeah. The hairstyles.
The hairstyles of the body. Like, all that has, changed over time. But it's like, and then we'll be coming up on 5 years of marriage in March of next year.
Wow, look at that. What is it? Yeah, all of that.
But it's interesting because I feel like the podcast is a culmination of all of our life together up to this point. Like this podcast is a physical representation of us
Yeah.
and who we are as individuals, as a couple,
Hmm.
as a young married Black couple specifically.
Yeah.
And I think that's freaking cool.
Love that. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Us talking about the things we love.
Things we
'Cause that's all
love.
we do. We could talk about some stuff. We could talk about
We
things
can
all
talk
day,
about
every day,
things.
as you
Yes.
guys have come to discover over the year.
Yeah, so
But
it's
yeah,
pretty
can I
cool.
just say, like, I appreciate everybody for rocking with us.
Yeah, that too.
So,
Y'all the
like,
real
so far, like,
MVPs. Yeah,
this has been pretty dope.
it has. It's been fun.
So, do you want to go over some highlights
Yeah,
for this
so
year, just for this from this past year
yeah.
of sharing our views and our thoughts on the things we love?
Absolutely. So this year, we touched on so many different topics. You guys know we talk about, cultural things. We talk about consumer engagement things. We talk
Yeah.
about obviously the things that we love from like a things that you can buy and make your life better perspective. But we've kind of put together like our best moments in kind of like an awards category, if you will.
Hmm.
So for the Lovers and Things podcast, the best culture episode of the year goes to Give Black Men Grace.
Yes. Give Black
Best
men
culture
grace.
episode for us. Give Black Men Grace.
Yes, I think from speaking, we like to tap into culture
Yeah.
every now and then.
Mhm.
I think we have this lived experience and these unique moments happen in history,
Mhm.
which we call current events, but they
Yeah.
become history and
Yeah.
they're kind of pivotal.
Mhm.
And I think that episode was a really interesting one because it highlights just I think it really stemmed from the photography that came from the Creed 3 or 4 shoot with Michael B. Jordan and
Yes.
Jonathan Majors,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
how like they had a lot of close moments, intimate moments of from my perspective, like I said in that
Mhm.
episode, like it came from like a brotherly lens.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But the internet blew up about it, and like people were losing their
Mhm.
minds,
Mhm.
and it really shined a light on like we think we have progressed, but
Mhm.
we got a way to go.
Yeah.
And I think
Mhm.
that episode really like did a good job of just kind of bringing it up as a topic of discussion in a sense that like we need to give black men grace
Yeah.
to express themselves and love on each other in
Mhm.
the various ways that we do. And we
Mhm.
are honestly are doing it in real life. It's just when it comes to fodder on the internet, I think people tend to fall into the loudest voices are sometimes the most ignorant, and I
Mm.
think that's
Loud and
and then
wrong.
yeah, and you realize that like in real life, a lot of people have given black men grace, but we need to bring that into media in the conversation as a culture, as a
Yeah.
community.
Oh my gosh, so well summed up.
Yeah, and I that's why I love that episode so much,
Yeah, it's a
and
good one.
everyone else did because that was one of our most listened to episodes. I
Yeah, one
think
of our most
it
listened
was
to
very shareable.
episodes. Yeah, I'm really proud of that one. Of the ones that we create that really talk about, our culture and our perspective as Black people. I think we take those super seriously, and so that particular episode is like a gold star for me. One of my forever
Yeah,
faves.
I love when we get into culture.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
that's we
It's high key our bag.
it's
I'm
our
just saying
bag,
it's kind of our
but
bag.
we be cutting up and talking about vacations and things we love, but
Right.
we might have to have a spin-off because there was one episode last season
Mhm.
where we talked about I think it was basically about You Ain't Got It. I think it was the episode called
Black consumerism.
Black
The Black
Consumerism.
consumerism topic. Ooh, that was a good one
That's what you're
too.
literally stirring your
And I'm
tea.
literally stirring my tea.
But yeah, that was a good one too. And I
Mhm.
think because honestly, that's like the kitchen talk. That's like the dining room talk
Yeah,
in our
yeah.
household
Yes, it is.
that we tend to like, we
Mhm.
pick and choose the topics to get that deep into on the episode
Me too.
because we are commuter fodder really. We're
Yeah.
trying to have a good time and we have a lot of things to talk about
Mhm.
considering the task we have at hand, the brief that we have
Mhm.
at hand of
Sure.
providing consumer advice.
Mhm.
So it's always fun when we get to like dive into something a little bit deeper.
Yeah, and I think that episode in particular is fun because the You Ain't Got It episode, because Greg and I both work in consumerism somewhere. Like Greg works in luxury goods, I work in beauty, so consumer goods in that way. And so our perspective on that is not only from, people who are in the culture, who grew up in the culture, who understand what it means to like wear certain labels and like all that kind of stuff, but then from a business marketing perspective, there's a
Oh,
totally different side to why those conversations need to be had because these businesses at the end of the day are businesses. It's
Yeah.
all about capital gain.
Yeah.
And so how you fit into that matrix is really important. So yeah, that is also a very good episode from last season though. Y'all should check it out.
Yeah. And like you said, you're on the side of the business marketing, the PR side of like making the brand seem appetizing and appealing to people. And I, I'm on the product side.
Yep.
So the visibility I get is every now and then I connect with like those that are on that side, and I talk to you, and the science that goes behind, categorization of certain archetypes,
Yeah.
and like, really, engineering product at a certain price point exactly for these archetypes to like really hone in on that market. It's when you see all the strings being pulled,
Yeah.
you start to look at product differently, and I think that's kind of one of the things we really like dive into here is looking at product not like more than just the flash, but looking at
Yeah.
it for like it's the materials, the benefits,
I agree.
the life that surrounds those products. Because at Lovers and Things, we like, the consumer advice is to also like create a lifestyle and to support a lifestyle that is a little bit looking at products a bit deeper.
Yeah, that's exactly the whole point of everything that we do here. Look at you summing things up so beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, I love talking about things.
Yeah.
And that's why
that's why we're here.
That day was very natural.
Love. Okay, so what's next?
Our next award is the most controversial podcast. It is controversial for us. Which was
controversial light.
Which was pumpkin spice problems.
Oh my gosh, y'all! That particular episode, we talked about all things fall and things that are annoying about fall, like the pumpkin spice, soap and lip gloss and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were listing all the dumb pumpkin spice things.
And you would be surprised how many things are pumpkin. Yeah, it's actually insane.
The deodorant was one that took me out.
Well, but then I thought about it and I was like, I could.
Okay.
That's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there.
Y'all heard it, y'all.
But what makes that episode controversial is that we brought up the never dying, like it just doesn't go anywhere debate of what's the best donut, Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts. I said Krispy Kreme. Boy. I said Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. And you know what side I stood on.
And you were heavy Dunkin' Donuts.
Was it 10 feet down? No, 10 toes down.
10 feet. No, God.
Well, either way, I'm deep into that Dunkin' Donuts bag, okay?
You love Dunkin' Donuts.
As we described on the episode,
oh, God.
It's the heft.
I can't. We're not going back down this road, but I feel like we came to like a happy medium of like Dunkin' Donuts, like the dough, but Krispy Kreme glaze. I think that's where we landed, and I'm with that still.
And our household, this is what we do.
Yeah.
We just go to both.
Yeah, that's true.
We're those people. I'll just get both.
Like if Greg's getting Dunkin' Donuts, that's fine. But like
drive on the way,
by
swing by
Kreme,
on the way,
so I can get it hot and ready.
We're at that household because we've had to navigate differing diets,
merging two lives together, if you will,
for a very long time.
Yeah, that's true.
You've been a pescatarian.
Yeah.
For a bit over a decade.
Yeah.
And I mean. I'm sorry, but I didn't join.
Greg ain't never been a pescatarian. Greg ain't never gave up the beef.
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
I was, burgers, all that, steaks. Oh my God, the steaks.
Oh,
but
steaks.
Yeah, and so it's only natural that our house is gonna have different. We're gonna make different stops and things like that because we've been doing this.
We've been doing this for a very long time. So we don't mind splitting up our time to get what we want.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Really, that's what a marriage is built on. Okay, a marriage is built on compromise and we'll just get both. You know what I mean? Just get both.
Get both.
What's the problem?
I'm here for getting both.
Yeah, get both.
There's so many things we do like that. We do stuff like that all the time.
We really do.
Is there anything else that we've done like that?
Food is major. Sometimes with home stuff. I remember when we bought the kitchen table, you really liked the woodiness of that table.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked the mid-century modern version of the chairs. And then we kind of saw them on display together. I was like, oh, we can get both. We can have both.
And we got the bench.
And we got the bench. Just melding both of our styles together was fun too. That's a good example of that.
Just do it.
Just do both.
Why not?
There's no one way.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. You guys should listen to that episode as well. It came out in October, I think.
Yeah, and I remember Oh my goodness, we posted the poll on
Yeah. And
we posted the poll
let
on
me just
Instagram.
say this. Let me just say
We gave y'all
this.
24 hours to vote. What was the results,
Y'all,
babe? What was the results?
Dunkin' Donuts by one vote, though. If I'm to be honest, it's Dunkin' Donut
It was
by
like
one vote.
51 and
Yeah,
49%.
like I was pissed. And it happened at the very end. One of you
Someone
came in
came
at the
in, yeah.
very end and changed the polls
I love
because
that. I
Krispy
love
Kreme
because
was
I won.
winning.
Krispy Kreme did have a lead, and I was nervous. And I think I
He
went
said I was nervous.
like it matters.
I was
Doesn't matter,
nervous.
but it did matter for me at that time.
It does
Because I
matter.
remember I was going to call the poll,
Yeah.
right, and post it. Like, all right, it's like 8 o'clock at night. Let's just call it. And then I took the snapshot, and it said Krispy Kreme won. And then and they were like, well, let's just let it run through. See,
I should have never agreed to that.
yeah, and then yeah, we eked that one by.
You know what it is? I blame it on our Northeast listeners. Our
Oh
Northeast
yeah.
listeners, you guys are probably some of the most loyal that we have. And
Uh-huh.
y'all love y'all some Dunkin' Donuts. I learned that as
Yeah, they are
well. Like
loyal
y'all
to
are
Dunkin'
loyal to
Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
But if you've been to Northeast, particularly New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
you thought Starbucks was on every corner or a
No.
Walgreens on every corner. Literally, Dunkin' Donuts is on every single corner.
It still shocks me to this day because down south it was Dunkin' was you'd see them like every once in
Yeah,
a
just like
while.
not really a
They
thing people flocked to.
But Starbucks was that girl.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah,
where we
yeah.
were from, Starbucks was that girl. But up here, Dunkin' Donuts, you have a far better chance of getting a Dunkin' Donuts before Starbucks anywhere. Like
Yeah.
far better chance.
Walking distance wherever you're at.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a thing, and people are always walking around with their Dunkin' Donuts
And it's
cups.
an iced coffee. What is it with y'all in a Dunkin' iced? I don't never really
Hmm.
see the Dunkin' hot. The girls be having the
Dunkin'
Dunkin'
Ice.
iced.
Maybe is this?
Even in the wintertime.
I mean, today's Sun. We should do this. What do you think? Tomorrow?
We'll do because I've
Do you like
actually
iced
never
coffees?
I prefer iced coffee to regular coffee.
Okay.
If it's hot coffee, I'm probably gonna pass.
Okay.
I feel like we should try Dunkin's iced coffee because maybe that's the transition point. You know,
Maybe
that'll
that's what. Maybe that's why people are hooked
that
and they love Dunkin'
it's
Donuts.
it
It's
ain't
the
even
iced
the
coffee.
donuts. It's the coffee.
Maybe that's what it is.
It's giving they clone Tyrone a little bit. What's in this
what's
coffee?
in the coffee? Oh boy,
What's in this coffee?
they might take us down for this. We might reveal something.
We need to cut this out the episode.
Big coffee, big donuts.
Big donuts.
They're doing something.
Yo, Netflix call
They're
me.
spiking the donuts in Jersey.
We're literally the documentary's on the way.
But nothing weird is going on in Jersey.
That's what they want you to believe.
Well, there has been some weird stuff. There was a
What?
bull loose
At the
at
my
the
gosh,
at
at the
Newark
Newark
Penn.
Penn Station.
A
Like
bull
an
loose.
actual bull, like a big one. You know, the
There's
big
the
one.
horns. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt proud being a Taurus. I felt seen in that moment. I was
Gregory,
like,
please.
go fellow
Please.
Taurian. Yeah,
Torian.
I felt seen in that moment. But yeah,
It was insane.
what do you think about
I
this?
was shook at the little bit because okay, so here's I'm gonna be
Because
honest.
you had a conspiracy.
I had conspiracy theory, and I think I think it's real. But anyways, the first time I saw that, I thought I read Newark Penn as New York Penn.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, well, how does it get into New York Penn? Like that's just strange.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was, but then I was like, no.
in Midtown New
Yeah,
York.
I was like,
yeah.
that definitely glitch in the Matrix.
Uh-huh.
But when I was like Newark Penn, I was like, oh, it probably,
Well, Ironbound.
Yeah, like it's an ironbound coffee.
It
Like
left one of those restaurants.
Yeah, like it's possible.
Yeah, I
at
thought
Newark Penn.
it fled a birthday party. I thought someone had a birthday party with some cow wrangling
Yeah.
or bull wrangling.
Yeah, with the little rope.
Yeah, I thought that's where it came from. It escaped.
Or maybe it fell off of a cart.
Cart.
Like when they be transporting stuff on the train line.
Probably
It escaped for its life.
You know what? I think
Last
that's a good
chance.
that you might be onto something because the
Thank you.
potholes in New Jersey are out of control.
I
I can see that wagon on the back of that truck hitting that pothole.
Yeah.
The latch opens.
The cow's gone.
And the cow's fled.
Gone.
Fled.
Gone. There's a bigger story here.
But the tracks, though.
Okay, so that's
How'd it get
where
on the
this is where
tracks?
my theory comes in,
Uh-huh.
y'all. I think it's a glitch in the Matrix.
Okay.
I think the multiverse is doing some weird stuff.
Crossover.
Crossover happened. That cow wasn't even supposed to be here. That cow belonged in another universe
Time,
somewhere.
or another time.
And a glitch happened.
Maybe like 200 years ago.
What?
that
That's
area was
wild.
a cow pasture or a bull farm.
A bull farm.
And a
Listen.
glitch, and it winds up in 2023.
Listen, if you don't see me and the FBI has come to our house, you know it was because I was telling the
We're
truth.
saying the truth, y'all. We're
Mm-hmm.
revealing the truth in the
Ooh,
Matrix.
just ruminate on that a little bit, if you will.
Let us know what you think. Where'd
What
the
is your
bull come
theory?
from?
Watch someone be like, "No, I actually work at Newark Penn, and
Yeah,
this
there's a
cow
common bull crossing.
all the time. It's not a big deal." All right. So next, okay, back to the awards. So award for best mental health episode goes to unnecessary transactions.
Unnecessary transactions.
Unnecessary
Bring me back. What was
transactions.
that one?
So that is the episode where you and I dove into our saboteurs. So, if you guys remember, we had a chat about this test that Greg had taken by way of like his job. I think it was recommended or something, where you take a test that highlights the kind of like self-destructing habits that you have within
Yeah.
yourself so you can better identify them. So when they show up in your day-to-day life, you can course correct to be more positive, essentially,
Yeah,
right?
to get to your goals.
Yes, to get to
Right.
your goals, like getting rid of the habits that keep you from being the best you. So we both took the test and we reviewed on that episode the results of our saboteur tests.
Yeah.
And honey, it was telling.
Yeah, it was very
It
exposing.
really had like your whole slip exposed to the world, y'all.
Mm.
But I think that was a good episode because we really delved into, not just recognizing what those saboteurs are, but what sort of things we were actively doing in order to correct them in our day-to-day lives. Like
Right.
things that like we know for sure this shows up for me. So how do I get better about managing it? And I thought that was a good episode.
Yeah, and what I enjoyed the most about that episode was like our highest saboteurs and our lowest saboteurs, they were so extreme that I think it allowed us to kind of cover each other's blind spots,
Yeah, that's true.
as we go through life together. And I think that was one of the big takeaways was
Yeah.
not only individually our saboteurs,
Mhm.
but like for each other, just having each other's back from a supportive perspective
I agree.
of supporting each other if we know that one person is more apt to take things a certain type of way.
Mhm.
Definitely from a supporting perspective, because you don't want to use. This is honestly like even the topic of saboteur is very sensitive and
Yeah.
touchy
Yeah, it
because
is.
it's a lot of it's rooted to childhood experiences or habits that people are struggling on overcoming.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to work with it from a place with a partner that will support you in that regard.
But yeah, I remember I even wanted my family to do it. So I sent it out to them and then like it was prefaced very much with like this is something that Greg and I have done and we have found to be helpful because like it is very revealing in
Yeah.
that and like you don't want it to seem like you're, doing this because you find flaw in someone.
Right.
It's more so because, there are ways to improve how we care for each other and ourselves every day
hmm
and this is just a tool to help you do that,
Yeah, and I think it's a good self-assessment. I think
Yes,
as an
absolutely.
individual, you should do it.
Yeah.
Sharing it with others, it's something you have to just make sure you're comfortable with.
Absolutely.
Because yeah, it is very sensitive.
Yes, it is.
But I did enjoy that episode because you dropped a bar on there.
I
Yeah, you
did.
dropped a bar. That's what the title came from, unnecessary
I'm
transactions.
glad you remember that.
Because I remember it was a bar. You were basically saying something of like you have like a finite bank account
Hmm.
of like I don't know, like just your emotional
Ah,
threshold,
yes, 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 yes.
and with you got to just be mindful of the people around you and manage your boundaries and manage your space, so that you can minimize the unnecessary transactions
Yeah, out of your
on your
account.
emotional toll, like your emotional toll
I did say
account.
that. I did say
Yeah,
that.
and that was a good one. So
Yes, check that one out.
yeah, I think everyone
Especially
should check
as
that
we're
one out.
going into the new year. I mean, you can always decide to change your life and become more self-aware. It does not have to be in the new year.
hmm
But the new year just happens to be the time where people are thinking about that, turning a new leaf. So maybe this is something you guys can enact or at least take. I know that we have the actual test linked in that episode in the show
Yeah,
notes somewhere. So if you go back, you should be able to find it.
yeah, definitely.
All right. So what is next? We have an
Oh,
honorable mention.
I just want to. Can I sit on the mental health a bit
Oh,
more?
there's more.
There's always more with
There's
me.
always more.
No, but I just
Of
wanted to
course,
just
you sit where
flag
you want.
like mental health. The reason why we made that a category in the awards for
Mhm.
this year in review
Mhm.
is because it is an important part
Oh,
of
yes.
our platform.
Oh, yes, sit in that, sit in
It's
that.
an
I do
important part
enjoy
of our
that.
platform.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
mental health,
Yes.
of course. We value that.
We do. We never.
Um,
It's like no joke. All jokes aside, it's
yeah,
very true.
it's like it's very serious. It's like it's something that we talk about things we love in a sense of okay, this is the things that make us happy, the things we enjoy in life, and all the things
Mhm.
that are beautiful around us, and home in particular,
Mhm.
because there's we feel like there's a safety that comes with home,
Mhm.
and we always want to make sure that safety even flows through in your mental health space when you're at home as
Right.
well. Yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
No, it was
That's
good. I'm glad you sat there. That was very
pretty good.
good.
All right, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, it was good, honey. It really was.
Yeah. So you want to go on to the next award, or actually we're done with award. You had an honorable mention.
Yeah, we just have an honorable mention because when we were going through the categories, we were like, oh, we should do like, the funniest episode.
Uh
But I
huh.
mean, let's be honest, all the episodes are
They
funny.
all are.
You can't like
You
pick
can't pick
one
one. Yeah.
episode to be funniest. But there is an honorable mention. It is
Boom, boom, boom.
the Hunchback of Decatur.
Oh, okay. I remember this one.
This one's a good one. This is one of those episodes where Greg and I just talking. We're just
Yeah.
talking. And we were watching a Netflix show that was like a
Jeez,
home
I remember
makeover
this.
show.
Yeah.
And there was this one episode. The
They had like an
person was
ensemble
Brooks.
cast.
And
Is that a proper way to
it's
say
an
it?
ensemble cast.
They had, I'm just using it. I don't even know what that means,
I
but
that feels
they had a
right.
cast of
Different
people.
personalities.
Yeah, they had a real estate agent
Yep.
type. They had an interior designer,
Yep.
an engineer,
Yep. It, it,
tools
Yeah,
person or whatever.
so I was like, what was
Uh,
that one lady? She was the engineer, and then there was
uh
the one guy with the curly hair that was just
like
like,
a wild card. Like he came up
yeah,
with ideas.
yeah,
He's an
there you go,
innovation or something like that.
innovation. That's
Oh boy.
him. But
And
it was actually a real good show.
yeah, and they would like come in as a team
Mm-hmm.
and help the families
Yeah.
expand it or improve their homes, right?
Exactly. They would have like one big room that they wanted to make over that was like the sore thumb of their house.
Hmm.
And so they went to go visit this one family. And
I
this one
remember this.
family was like, living in just
Like
a
a two
modest home,
bedroom,
two
two bedroom,
bedroom,
two bath,
maybe
something like
two,
that.
yeah, something like that. And their son, they had two kids, a daughter and a son. The daughter got her own room, but the son was living in the living room.
Living room at
They
the
would
time.
convert the
Yeah.
living room into his bedroom in the evening, right?
Right.
Which red flag right away. The boy is older, right? He doesn't have his own personal space. Like during the day, his stuff is shoved in a corner so
Right.
everyone can watch TV and eat
Yeah.
popcorn. And then when they're done, then he can go to bed. Like it's weird.
Like when they're
It's
done watching their movies and leaving popcorn crumbs on the couch, they'll just go to bed in their bedrooms.
Yeah.
And he would just crawl into the darkness and be like, "Okay, I'm ready to go to bed." And
It was
meanwhile,
really
in the middle of
sad.
all this, he is the most grateful
Oh my
kid,
gosh, just a
the
sweet boy.
sweetest kid ever. He had
Yeah,
a
he
smile
was.
on his face the entire time. So positive.
Grateful and humble and just like the cutest little boy.
Right. So the team comes in and
Yeah.
they want to solve this problem
Mhm.
for what was his name?
Brooks.
Brooks?
It was Brooks.
Brooks.
They wanted to solve the problem for Brooks.
Give
Hey,
him give him
y'all,
a space, his own personal space.
y'all know what the solution was?
Well, what'd they do? What'd they do
There
for this
was an
boy?
empty, like you guys know, there's like sometimes in some houses there's space between like where your
Hmm.
physical roof is and where like the house roof
Yeah,
is.
like an
Like
attic,
an
a
attic,
crawl
if you
space.
will.
Yes.
They turned the attic of the living room into Brooks's room.
Yeah. And
I'll
literally
repeat.
had a roll down ladder
For
from to
him,
get up there into his hole
yeah. So
in
I
the ceiling.
repeat, they built
A nest.
a nest for this growing boy
Growing boy.
in the attic of their home. It's giving Hunchback of Notre
Yeah,
Dame.
and there was a base of Decatur. We called the episode Hunchback of Decatur.
Right? Because it's like this. He's going to have a hunchback because he's like
He-
constantly.
Exactly. The
Like, what's
scoliosis is
happening?
gonna set in.
That's insane.
Set in, babe.
Like what? And
And
the
you know,
parents were just so happy with the
Oh my
solution.
god.
Let me just say, I don't have kids, but when I do have
Uh-huh.
children, there's no way one of my kids is living in a hole in
In
the
a roof.
attic, and the other one has their own princess
Full
decorated
bedroom.
room.
Have they heard of bunk beds?
Like,
Who
what's
these
happening?
people?
I was like, if y'all don't like Brooks, just say that.
Just say that.
He can
We'll
come
take
stay with
Brooks.
me.
We got an extra room
Yeah,
here. He can stay
he
with
can
us.
come
'Cause
stay
look,
with us.
this
I
was
would
just
never.
terrible.
I
And
hated it.
and my biggest thing, I know heat living in the north. Heat rises.
Yes, it does.
We have a multi-level house.
Yeah.
You'd be on the ground level,
Yeah.
cozy, and you go upstairs and you start sweat.
Ooh.
Heat rises. So Brooks up there roasting with his scoliosis setting in. It was so bad. We were upset.
I think
We were so upset.
we had like an argument about, not an argument, like
A heated moment.
like yelling at his
The
parents.
injustice.
The injustice.
For
Save
Brooks.
Justice for Brooks.
Hunchback of Decatur, y'all.
Oh my gosh, that is
That was
such a
so
good
wrong.
episode.
It was so hilarious because there was so many people on set.
Yeah.
So many people in the house.
Adults.
All these people watching this, and nobody had a problem with this.
Yeah, no one thought to say, maybe Brooks shouldn't be in the 4-foot gap
In the
between
ceiling.
the ceiling and the roof.
Yeah. And like, God forbid Brooks, hopefully he's a calm sleeper, because he's liable to roll up out of there and fall on
my
the floor
gosh.
in the living room.
And because the only thing between him and the floor was some wood slats.
That he could individually like accordion over to close. Meanwhile, Mama we talked about this.
Yeah.
Mama in the kitchen frying fish.
Yeah.
Fish grease all in his because heat rises.
Heat rises. Can
Injustice.
you imagine? I can't do it. Like I said, if y'all don't like Brooks, just say that. Because at this point, it's insane.
Yeah, clearly we're still emotional about this.
I wonder where Brooks is today. Can we get a follow-up? I want to make sure he made it.
He probably left the house and moved out.
He turned 16 and was
was
out
like,
of
out.
there.
Wow.
Oh, poor kid. But that's a good episode, guys. The Hunchback of Decatur.
We're still
Definitely.
passionate about it, clearly. You'll have
Yeah.
the raw passion in that moment.
There's something about the
Back
injustice
then.
of children.
We
won't stand for
we
it.
don't stand for that.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Wow, that was a good one. I'm glad you added that one to us, because that was pretty hilarious.
Fun, right?
And the funny thing about it is, this is gonna be another layer, like take you guys behind the scenes of this stuff. We felt very passionate about it. And I would submit maybe some of our listeners felt passionate about Brooks's injustice.
Yeah.
I think we showed it to your parents, and they were just like, okay, he's up in the ceiling.
That's true.
Like, aren't you mad?
Yeah,
Aren't you
they're like, and then we were like, you gotta see this episode.
Look at this Brooks.
You gotta
Brooks,
see it.
Look how sweet he is. And
They're just like, oh, okay.
he's in the
I'm like,
ceiling.
so you would have me in the ceiling?
They'll have you in the ceiling, man.
Exposed.
They'll have you in the ceiling. You and Dre rock, paper, scissors.
Oh my gosh.
Which where I gonna sleep at?
That ain't right.
But that was a good one.
Yeah. So those were our best of the best of the year, best episodes that we encourage you guys to listen to. We know a lot of you guys listen to us weekly, so you've probably listened to those and left your voice notes and your comments, which we're so thankful for. But if this is your first time listening to us, or these are new to you, then go ahead and take a listen.
Check those out.
They're fun.
And if you're watching, I'm pretty sure we would probably put this on YouTube, maybe.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna try.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you have to go to Spotify or Apple Music.
Yeah.
Or Apple Podcasts. To catch up on those.
That's where we're at.
All right. So is it time for things we love?
Yeah, things we love end of year edition. So this is going to be a little different than what we usually do. We are going to be talking about things we love in terms of best moments for us coming out of 2023.
Yeah.
And then we're going to share with you guys what we're excited to do in 2024, which is crazy. 2024, that's wild.
It's all a blur to me, honestly. I know. These
where
numbers,
are we?
It's numbers on a wall.
It's strange.
Yeah, I've reached that point in my life.
I remember, quick aside, I remember 2000. I remember it going from 1999 to, because everyone thought the world was going to end. And fun fact, so I would oftentimes go visit my dad's side of the family for like holidays and stuff like that sometimes. So this particular year, I was in Jacksonville, not with my mom. And so I was with my dad. Yeah. Which, I mean, great. Love it.
Yeah, eating, not White Castle. What's that other?
Oh, no, Crystal Burgers. Yeah, when I got with my daddy, we had a good time. But I was over to my auntie house that night because my dad owned a restaurant, and I think he was working. The restaurant was open that night. Obviously, it's New Year's. They serve all sorts of stuff that I had no business being around, so I was at my auntie house. So we had heard all this news about like the world ending, right? The world was going to end into a almost 10-year-old. Well, 10? I hadn't turned 10 yet. 9 turning 10-year-old. Like the idea of the world ending and my parents not being around frightened the heck out of me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're around both of them.
Yeah. So my mom was in Sarasota. My dad was in Jacksonville. running the restaurant. And so I was at my auntie house, and I like my auntie and everything, but she ain't my mama, she ain't my daddy.
Yeah.
So I
This is end
remember, yeah,
times.
this
You
is
need
like this is
your
the
unit,
end times. I
your
may
family
never
unit
see
close.
them again. And so I vividly remember like the clock like getting down and me just in tears, bawling,
Oh, wow.
bawling,
Really?
bawling because I thought it was the end and I'd never see them again. And so my
Really?
aunt calls my dad and she's like, "Can you please talk to Lecky?" 'Cause she's like panicking, and dad's like, "It's okay, it'll
Yeah.
be fine."
Wow.
But anyway, I say all
So
that to
you really
say
thought it was the end
I
times?
thought it was the end times.
Yeah, when I was in around that, I remember I was just concerned about a couple of things.
Mhm.
This 10-year-old me, whatever. I was like, apparently there's a lot of talks about banks who are gonna not gonna be able to know what to do
Yeah,
because
computers were shutting
dates wouldn't
down.
add up, and things
Mhm.
would look like it would think it would be 100 years ago,
Mhm.
99 years ago, or whatever if it was 00,
Mhm.
and they're gonna. So I was concerned about the banks
Mhm.
for some reason
With
as
all
a
of
10-year-old.
your money and
When
your retirement in
as
there.
a 10-year-old,
You've got
I
your
was like, what are
401k.
the banks gonna do? Because that's all I saw in the news.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then I was also concerned. They said the computers weren't gonna work.
That was a big one.
So I remember having our we had a desktop PC,
I know
a
that's right.
Gateway.
Period.
It was a big gray, big back monitor.
They don't talk about Gateway enough. They don't talk about how
I think they
Gateway
talk
held.
about Gateway enough.
No, no, no,
We
no,
don't
no,
need more
no.
Gateway talk.
I'm just saying the 90s were held down by Gateway until Apple came along. That's all I'll
Gateway
say.
single-handedly
Yeah,
brought the personal computer
that's what I'm
to the home.
saying. Exactly.
Quote me.
That's what I'm saying.
But we had that, the big computer loud,
Yeah.
fans blowing,
Oh, wow.
things whirring and
Mhm.
whizzing, and because you could hear the thing processing.
Sure, yeah.
Remember computers like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Y'all didn't
That was
ask
a
for
gift for
this.
the audio only
Y'all
people.
didn't ask for that.
But that was computers,
Yeah.
loud and clunky,
Mhm,
big
mhm.
buttons. You push buttons; they were very
Yeah.
tactile.
Yes, very.
I'm sorry, I digress. But yeah, I remember I was like concerned. What is the date? What is the computer date gonna do? Is it
Yeah.
gonna know to go into 2000?
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen. It did ultimately, and
Everything
nothing
was
happened.
fine.
And
Like
it's fine.
literally nothing happened at all.
Yeah,
It was the biggest hubbub. It's the biggest
yeah,
sham of modern
right.
media at the
But
time.
like everyone single-handedly in I want to say the world
Mhm.
held their breaths on that countdown, and then when we looked around, the ball dropped in
Everything was
Manhattan.
fine.
Everything was fine, and we're
Nothing broke
all
down.
exhale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now 23 to almost 24 years later,
Hmm.
a
Yeah.
new dawn.
Yeah. It's interesting. My coworkers, I have some coworkers that are members of the youth.
Oh,
They're young.
okay.
They didn't know what Y2K was. One or two of them.
Oh, wow.
They didn't know why they were
They weren't
born.
born yet.
They were born after Y2K.
Wow, it wouldn't matter to them.
It wouldn't matter. They don't. They and then no one's like
That's
telling them about this
crazy. It
because
was,
nothing
it
happened.
was a glitch.
But
Like,
we'll
it's
tell you
not
guys
like,
about it.
yeah. We assume
Talking
you
about
guys were
nothing.
there. I think y'all were there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
wild
they
to be
didn't know
born
what
after
Y2K was.
Y2K.
That really, and I was like, you know how like people go in these moments, they go, boy, am I old.
Yeah.
I said, boy, are they young. So I'm not old.
I'm not old.
I
Y'all
will
are just
never receive that.
extremely young.
Yeah. It was like a very funny moment at that
Yeah.
time. And they were like, yeah, I don't know what that is.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah. But anyway,
Changing.
we were all talking about something.
We were talking about our best moments personally
How do
from
we
this
get to that? How do we
year.
get to?
Because we were talking about the new year, how it's time to reflect and yell. That was a hard left.
Oh boy!
That
All
was
right.
a hard left. But I think for me, one of the things that I enjoyed most about this year when I was looking back on it was how much travel happened this year. I feel
Yeah.
like we traveled together as well as separately for work and things quite a bit this year,
Right.
more than we have in years past.
It was like a running theme on the pod. It was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
we just came back from somewhere, and it was
Greg's coming back from here, Lex is coming back from here. Like it was a lot. And, some of it, well, all of it, I'm extremely thankful for. Traveling is one of my favorite things to do. Like I love seeing new places and all that kind of stuff. And even if it's a place that I'm revisiting, there's also always something new to see.
Mhm.
But this year in particular was a lot. So I'm extremely thankful for all of those experiences that we had.
Yeah. And I remember the earliest trip we had this year was your birthday trip to Bahamas, Bahamar, which was a
Bahamar.
great resort.
That was
We talked
beautiful.
about that on one of those episodes. I can't remember which one, but
Yeah, there are two Bahamas episodes. One where we talk about the actual resort, top of the year, like
hmm
January episodes, and then we talk about the food because that deserved its
oh
own
yeah,
sort of moment.
right. Oh man, the cruise food,
The
the Virgin,
cruise
yeah,
food. Oh yeah, that's another place that we traveled. We went to the Bahamas again on
yeah,
the Virgin Voyages cruise, and we did talk about the food quite a bit on that one
right.
too.
And that was a good episode too. Extra virgin
Ooh,
voyages.
extra virgin voyages. One of our top listened to, by the way, that
hmm
one. You
Yeah.
guys liked it.
So, what was like some of the highlights from your travels?
Oh gosh, I think, I loved the Bahamas because that was the first time that we had gone, and that was fantastic. I loved going to the Catskills for your birthday in
Oh, that was a
May.
good one.
That's probably one of my top
It's a
ones
road
of the
trip.
year. Yeah, it was a
Yeah, it was
road trip.
fun.
It was slow. It was just us. And I enjoyed being able to do nothing. Like,
hmm
as a person who works in corp, who works in beauty, I'm
hmm
often putting on a lot. Like, I'm putting on a lot. Like, and it was nice to like not wear a lick of makeup unless I wanted to, which was
Yeah.
never, to wear cargos and t-shirts and just like love you in those
Uh
moments
huh.
and like with nothing else going on. It was so fun.
Yeah, literally, our days in the Catskills was leading up to our lunch, what
Mhm.
we were gonna cook on the grill.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
was it. That was
So
what our
simple.
days. We'd get up,
Mhm.
and then we'd just get ready to. We'd get our wood block, like
Mhm.
logs or whatever, and then
Yep.
get our ingredients and prepare everything,
Mhm.
and then have lunch, and then walk around a bit, and then roast marshmallows, and
Yeah.
just go to sleep. It
So
was so
simple.
chill.
So chill.
It's so nice when you have trips like that, where
Yeah.
your biggest task is dinner.
That's it.
Like, I love vacations like those.
It was so great, and then we went to Woodstock, which was
hmm
fun. We just walked around, and, like,
Yeah,
grabbed some stuff, and even the trip up was really fun. We stopped at an Italian restaurant, just like
yeah. We stopped on like a Hudson Valley area.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, everything about that was dope. Um, Another one that I enjoyed was going to Vegas. Vegas was fun. I did that for work.
Okay,
I went to Vegas and I met Tabitha Brown, and that
you went to
deserves a
Tabitha
gold
Brown,
star.
really?
Remember? Yeah, and I FaceTimed my parents, and she talked to my parents,
Wow.
which was like, I was like, you gotta talk to my parents, and she's like, okay, like it was
Was she
great.
as magical in person as
As
she is?
magical in person, she's tiny though.
Yeah.
She's a little bite size of a woman.
Wow.
But she
Something
was
you never get
fantastic.
scale
You
on
never get
celebrities.
scale.
Never get scale.
I don't know, and not that I thought that Tabitha Brown would not be small, but
But you don't
like
never know.
you'd never know, but she
Yeah.
was.
A lot of actors
Um,
are short too.
Yeah, so maybe that's why she's such a bite-sized queen.
Yeah.
But those are just a couple of them. I did some Texas, I did LA a couple of times this year.
hmm
So a lots of traveling, but I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for it.
Yeah, and I went to Paris for the first time this year. I remember
That's
that. That was pretty
right.
cool.
That's right.
Went to Paris. Uh, Also went to Florence for the first
Mhm.
time. That was
Mhm.
fun. It was a fun drive to Paris. I'm sorry, to Florence.
Yeah.
I think I talked about this on a
You
pod.
did. You did.
Yeah, we had a trivia about the mountains in Italy. But yeah, that was an amazing drive. I think if anyone is a car enthusiast, see, this is where the few guys that are listening,
This is where they
their
lock
ears perked
in.
up.
Lock in.
If you want to have a driving experience of all drive, not of all, because there's the canyons of California.
Sure.
There's also the mountain passes in the
Mm.
Swiss Alps.
Mhm.
Bucket list driving experiences.
Sure.
Good driving experience is like North Italy, like Milan, essentially like Milan to Florence.
Okay.
A Milan to Florence drive,
Mhm.
it's like 4 hours, something like that.
Okay, not bad. Doable.
But you're cutting through, and as I mentioned on that episode, the most amazing mountain ranges, switchbacks. It was, I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was so happy driving this drive. It was the most fun driving I probably ever had.
Wow.
I've done the NASCAR driving
Mhm.
experience. That
Mhm.
was pretty fun and
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That was the scariest driving experience, driving one of those cars. But the most fun, I would say, was that one. It was, and we had a SUV, an X3.
Mhm.
It was, it held itself up. It was
Yeah.
pretty good. The
Yeah.
brakes were
It worked.
going through it, but the brakes was like mercy
Touch
on
and
the
go.
switchback areas. I really had to like gauge my distancing on that. But anyway, that's a good driving experience for any of
Yeah.
those who are into driving. Make that happen and let me know if you do
Nice.
that.
I'm always so jealous of Greg's Europe trips. I'm just like, oh, how
Yeah.
nice.
We have to plan one. We have to plan one.
Yes.
I gotta
That's
figure
bucket
out a way
list.
to do it with work, so
Yeah.
I can I can get there and then already be there. And do that.
Use the benefits. Absolutely. But a big travel year for us. So
Yeah,
fun.
so I think those were a good time. But of course, my favorite was Catskills as well. The
Mm-hmm.
cruise, the cruise is right up there with my favorite too.
Yeah, that's
The Virgin Voyages cruise.
For two totally different reasons. The Catskills because it was so chill
Yeah,
and just like you're just
and
living.
like in our backyard.
Yeah, like perfect. It was great.
Mhm.
Virgin Voyages for the opposite reason. We were surrounded by family, excitement, and food,
Oh
and
my
everything was
goodness.
programmed to a T, and we were scheduled
Yeah,
to it, like the total opposite of that, but still so fun.
that was a vibe.
Like that was amazing. Every night
Hmm.
on Virgin Voyages, we did something that we didn't expect. We ate something that we didn't expect. We did something that was super cool. Like there wasn't a single moment on that trip that was like lost or like
Yeah,
not filled with something amazing.
it was a great from takeoff,
Yeah.
the ship exit, whatever you want to call that.
Debarkation,
Embarkation to
embarkation,
disembarkation to
from when we
embarkation
left.
from when we left to when we came back. It was a vibe. We
Yeah,
highly recommended it,
yeah.
like over and over again.
I kind of want to do it again.
Mm.
I want to do it again on a different boat on a
Like a
longer
different
cruise.
part of the world,
Yeah, different part of the world.
maybe like a
I hear they
Europe
go to
one.
like Greece. Yep, I hear they go to like Greece and Italy and stuff. Like
Mm.
I would do that one
Oh,
in a
okay.
flash.
Yeah, we have to do some research.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Any
what other
other things you love?
not from a travel perspective, but I'll ping pong it to you. What other things are like major things that you enjoyed this year, things that you loved?
I think one of the personal things that I loved from this year is exploring journaling.
Oh.
You know, as a function of the pod, I wanted to keep notes of things that were happening in life.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, let me start journaling things as they occur in my life so
Mhm.
that I can remember it because I don't have the best memory on certain things.
Mhm.
I'm one of those, I think everyone deals with it, but I think I deal with this to extreme level. I'm one of those in the shower thinking something comes to mind of what I should have said to someone
Mhm.
like the day before, right?
Sure.
Or I'm in bed, I'm like, oh, I should have said that to that person. Like I'm textbook, one of those people that
Mhm.
always forgets in the moment.
Yeah.
So I started journaling to try to spark my memory on things
Mhm.
before we record.
Mhm.
And I found it also like really cool to just be able to look back at the year and kind of look at my thoughts throughout the year and
Mhm.
pull back memories that stood out. I had a lot of funny moments that I was journaling. I really enjoyed that, like just capturing the funniness of life.
Mhm.
You know, like when I had this note about like, why does the dentist keep talking to me when there's like, you know, random tools in my mouth and
Yeah.
a suction tube and all
Mhm.
this stuff. They keep talking like stuff like that.
Mhm.
Awkward moments. The 3 foot waist discovery. When I realized I had a 3 foot waist.
That is so
It's
funny as
like,
heck to me. Like
right? I think it's a little under 3 feet now.
it's fine.
Just want to let everyone know. I brought it down.
You brought
We're
it
right under
down.
3 feet. You
Love
know,
that.
3 feet with some slack is
I
where
love
I'm at.
that for
You know,
you. Period.
but you know, sometimes with your perspective on things,
Yeah.
you just got to change the units on stuff
Yeah.
and be like, wow,
You're like 3
3
feet
feet,
sounds
a meter.
crazy.
I don't even know that's a meter. But yeah, but like journaling in general was a highlight from this year. Something
Mhm.
that I really enjoyed.
Good. I
Yeah.
love that for you. And it's true, like you would like write things down and you'll be like, I gotta tell you something. And like you'd be like, oh, I wrote it down. Hold on. Like you would like remember things to tell me from
Yeah.
your journaling. I'd be like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Like you really took it to heart. I
Yeah.
hope
So
you keep
I
up with
think
it
like
though.
that's something I'm gonna keep doing. It just
Yeah.
personally I've enjoyed it.
I
Yeah.
love that. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Also, Apple just released a new journal app
You were
in their
hype.
iOS
You
update.
were hype. And I was like, why I don't have? And he's like, you ain't update your phone. Oh,
Lex,
well,
Lex,
excuse me.
don't be updating her phone. She don't.
I
And I be
don't.
having all these cool features
Yeah.
and all these
Like the other
upgrades.
night, you had like the thing where your phone turns into a clock, and I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, how did you get that?" And well, you
I
ain't update your
updated.
phone.
I updated.
Like, what?
I updated.
But you like the new journaling app.
That's all right. I'm trying it out.
Yeah.
It's only been like a day, so I'm
It's only been like
I
a
gotta try it
day.
out, see if I
It
like it.
sounded like you were excited about it,
I
child.
was excited at the concept, but the thing I didn't like about it so far is I
Mm-hmm.
don't think there was a web companion.
Oh.
Like I'd like to sometimes pull up my notes on my
Yeah.
laptop
No, absolutely.
and type and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
I didn't see a web companion.
That's strange. I feel like that
So
would be super normal for that.
maybe
People take notes on their
yeah.
laptop all the time.
But maybe that's something they'll roll out in the future. But until then, that's one reason why I don't want to dive too deep into it because I like to be able to
Mm.
open up my notes, my
Mm-hmm.
journals on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Interesting. I love
Yeah,
that.
that's the thing that I love from this year is journaling.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
How about yourself?
Okay, so this is a thing that I love, but I don't talk about this on this podcast, but I'm talking about this for a particular reason, right? So, you guys know that I work in beauty, and you guys have heard a little bit about the story of us moving to New York so that I could pursue a career in beauty and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this year I made like a unexpected but um unexpected career shift, not career shift, but a leveling up in my career.
Yeah.
And it has been one of the most interesting transitions for me because when I think about my entire like life for the last 10 years, it has been a very interesting journey of figuring out what I want to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like really trying to carve out my sort of like way and decide what I'm going to do and not having a roadmap. Like I think
Yeah.
about the fact that like we came up here
Mm-hmm.
together, and I did not have a roadmap of what my career would look like in beauty. I
Yeah.
had never seen anyone do it. I assumed I could do it.
Right.
And I kind of was just like feeling my way through it. And so these last couple of years have been like 100% grind mode. Like when I
Yeah.
tell y'all, every time a door closed, I was knocking on another door to make something else happen, or every
Yeah.
time something didn't work out, I shifted quickly to make something happen. Like the sheer amount of grind that has been
Mm-hmm.
going on these last couple of years has been like, something that you when you're in it, you don't realize you're going that hard, I guess.
Mm.
And so when I got it's not even a promotion, it's just like
Level up.
a level up
Yeah.
in my career, and you realize that like you're doing what you sought out to do. Like I had a moment recently when I was sitting in a room with people that I'd never thought I'd be sitting in a room with talking about stuff that like feels very heavy and very
Yeah.
serious, and it's just like, this is what I've worked for,
Mm.
but being in those spaces is so humbling, and I'm just so thankful for the God-given grind of it all, but then also to know that my path was predetermined, right? God has a plan for all of us, and however that looks for you is just as beautiful as what mine looks like.
Yeah.
And so I'm just so thankful, I guess. And for the first time in a very long time, I feel okay. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel like I don't feel that burning itch to like push more, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like
Oh,
I
wow.
I,
Wow. Yeah.
I feel like I can breathe a little bit,
Yeah.
and
Grind mode has kind of you're starting to move away from grind mode and you're now in like
yeah,
thrive mode.
yeah, it's less grind and more thrive, and it's so, again, humbling, and I'm just so thankful because, a lot of our 20s was a lot of sacrifice. Like I talk about this on this podcast, but I don't think you guys realize how much that like Greg, while we were engaged, supporting me and being like, you should do that for your life.
Yeah.
How selfless that was, and how selfless it was of the people around me. When I tell you I ain't had no money, I ain't had no money. My parents were buying my tickets. I was sleeping on my sister's couch.
Mm.
And now to sit in a home that we own,
Right.
and we're talking about how beautiful and comfortable our lives are and decisions that we are making for our future and our family. And I am just so thankful to God for this year, because this year has been a huge year of transition. And like I said, for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can breathe. I've got an amazing husband. I've got a career that I'm proud of.
Mm.
I've got family that I love to death. I have a new community of friends that like see me for me and love
Yeah.
me. And I feel like sometimes I'd be like, is this real? Like, is this my life for real? But like, I worked for it, and I know there's more to come. Like, I'm very
Right.
young in my career. There's still more to come, but to having gotten through the initial push out of your
Yeah,
20s it's interesting to be on the other
to
side.
build that foundation. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's really interesting to be in that transition
Mhm.
because you have to adjust so much in the
Yeah.
sense of how you view things.
Mhm.
You're creating now you're just more so maintaining
Mhm.
where you're at instead of trying to build something.
Yeah.
And the mindset of maintaining and build versus building is very different. And
Yeah. It
it's
feels
it's
different.
very jarring to go through that transition because then also you look up and you're just like, okay, I'm at a point now where I don't necessarily have to necessarily focus on what's next. I need to
Yeah.
focus on building what I have now and building with what
Yeah.
I have now, I should say.
That's a beautiful way to
And
put it.
because you're trying to pull all the pieces together, and you
Mhm.
finally pulled them all together,
Mhm.
and now it's like, all right, now that I've got all the pieces together, we have this foundation.
Mhm.
What do we build on this foundation? Because that's
Mhm.
what we're really building is our foundation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and coming up to this New York City area and putting in roots,
Mhm.
like basically semi-permanent roots
Mhm.
by choosing to purchase a home in this area
Yeah.
is like a big part, and that means like we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
We're
Like
stuck.
we got to make this work. Um, but it's these are all, and I think we talked about this in a sense of like you have to sometimes realize like you're living your goals.
Mhm.
Sometimes at
Mhm.
one point where you're at today was a dream,
Mhm.
and I don't care what level you are at in
Yeah.
your journey.
Mhm.
Where you're at today is a can be viewed and for many people
Mhm.
uh, a goal at one point.
Yeah.
Whether it is you're in college right now,
Mhm.
or you're going back to school,
Mhm.
or you've got a family, you've got whatever it is that you have, all these blessings that we have. It's like this at one point was
Mhm.
the dream.
Mhm.
So like smell the roses and like really enjoy and live in it. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of maybe where you're seeing yourself at
Mhm.
is, because we had to, like you said, get it out the mud. Like
Yeah.
we had to make a lot of sacrifices. We still
Yes.
making
Of
sacrifices, but
course.
like, we had to make a lot of sacrifices and live outside of our comfort
Very
zones
much
and really
so.
push ourselves
Mhm.
to reach a space where we could look at it today.
Mhm.
And I think it's more of like now, like live it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're at.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and again, I'm just, I don't take for granted the fact that my life is a result of other people pouring into me too. So I also feel like I'm a season of my life where I'm ready to pour into others a little bit more too.
Mm,
Which is exciting to feel like you have the space to to manage that
yeah.
transaction,
Hmm.
But like I just look back over the amount of love and support and prayers and just all that kind of stuff, and not only for me, but like for us as a couple and our foundation and our moving here. Like there were so many people who were rooting for us. And so, yeah, to feel like this year is a turning page and really a beginning of a new chapter. For some reason, it feels like the beginning of a
Yeah.
new chapter. Like it feels like these last 10 years where were I don't know, the part one of a book or part
Yeah.
two. Yeah, part two, because my order that was part two. But
Yeah.
it really feels like a part three is about to start, and that is wild to me.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to writing it with you. You know,
Listen, you're the co-author. We write this book
co-author.
together.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So thanks, honey.
So that's your things you
That was
love.
my second thing. I love the growth, and then the realization moment, and then
Hmm.
this is the start of something new.
I
That
love
is the
that.
thing I love.
I love that. And in
Mhm.
a similar vein, I think one of the things I love from this year is just like slowing down and
Mhm.
simplifying life.
Yeah.
I've had to do that a lot this year. Is just
Mhm.
like boil things down to the basics so I
Mhm.
can try to do my best at a few things. And
Mhm. It's
that
good.
was like a transition of mine, just kind of really honing in on a few things.
Mhm.
And then in a same similar note is like honing in on a few things, allowing myself to really just sit and living and I don't know if I want to say thriving, but getting out of grind mentality of
Yeah.
like what is the next thing? What I got to
Mhm.
do? I got to keep building,
Mhm.
but just being like being grateful of what I have now and being grateful where I'm at. And yes, obviously, sometimes look at the horizon and make sure you're, sowing seeds for the future. But like carve out some time to
Mhm.
just like exist and like live a good life,
Yeah.
and we've lived a good life throughout the years.
Yes, we have.
There are many of photos and
Yeah.
videos and memories of these good life.
We've
But
always had fun.
like I always felt like I could have lived it a little fuller in a sense of
Mhm.
like I thought maybe there was something in the back of my head of like some place I needed to be,
Yep.
some that's kind of like in the background of all those memories.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to like really sit in the simplification of life.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that this year, and also like just really enjoying the fruits of our day to day. Just a
Mhm.
little bit more.
Yeah.
You know.
Mhm. That's such a good one because it's like, you know, life gonna move on whether you appreciate it or not. Like life
Mhm.
is gonna keep moving whether or not you smile, whether or not you choose to see the good in the moment or choose to lay in the bad. Like life gonna keep moving no matter what.
It's gonna keep moving.
So it's like, it's part of your responsibility to choose how you live your moments. And I think what you're saying is it's all about choosing to see the brighter side, like choosing to sit in good a little bit and
Yeah.
know that there's always stuff to do. There's always going to be, dishes to wash and tests to take and all that, like all that'll
Mhm.
always be there. But like the beauty of your everyday moments you can't get back.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of have to sit in them a little bit more.
Sit in them a little more, like really
Yeah.
enjoy the space that you're in now.
Mhm.
Really enjoy, even though yes, we all want to get to this mansion in the sky,
Mhm.
this amazing goal, right?
The
This
deluxe apartment in the
that too, the mansion and
sky.
the apartment, both of them. We all want to get there, right? And sometimes society, and especially in this capitalistic society,
Mm,
it's gains over anything, right? You always got to be keep
absolutely.
going up in this society.
Mhm.
Sometimes that kind of makes you lose sight of your now.
Yeah.
Lose sight of how well you've done,
Mhm.
and this constant growth mindset kind of can become draining,
Mm,
and that's kind of where I'm at. Is just like yes, we have constant growth, but
yeah.
sitting in it a bit more.
Beautiful, honey.
Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful.
but yeah, that's my last like thing I love from this year is like
Very
slowing down and
nice.
simplifying life.
I love that.
Yeah. So how
I
about
have my
yourself?
last one.
What's your last one?
Um,
What are you gonna leave the people with?
ooh, that's
Oh wait, I'm
heavy.
sorry. I mean, I
Oh my
put.
god. I'm not leaving it. No.
What do you got for the people?
What I got, I like that better. What do I
Okay.
have for the people? Up until this year, I really thought I was bionic. Like I really thought I was solid. Like
Yeah.
I have never in my life experienced anything physically that has ever challenged me for real.
Okay.
Never. Never broken anything. Like let me just give you a history of Alexis.
She took band, y'all.
I
She
took
did not
band.
take.
Oh,
She did not join the sports teams.
okay, but can I also say for those of you who don't understand, a military drill style band is
Uh-huh.
very difficult.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. My
Very
bad.
difficult. The amount of weight and heat in those little outfits and the footwork, hours of
Mm.
work. We'll talk about that another time.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Don't disrespect the band
I
kids.
stand corrected.
Thank you. Exactly. But I mean in terms of like I've always been a healthy kid, like
Mm.
or person. Like I've always been relatively active. I've always eaten well. I've just always been fine.
Yeah.
Child, this year with my knee injury, when I
Oh,
tell
wow. Yeah.
y'all that has been one of the most humbling experiences in my life. There has never been a moment in my life where I feel like I couldn't do something
Mm.
physically.
Yeah.
I'm known for taking 18 bags up the stairs to the apartment. I'm running, I'm jumping, I'm lifting, I'm doing stuff like I'm
Yeah.
very like that's
Undefeated. Yeah.
undefeated. I'm bionic AF.
Yeah.
Not after this knee injury. And the
Wow. Yeah.
gag is it wasn't even nothing big that took me out. Like
Mm. It was like a
to
misstep,
this,
right?
yeah, to this day, like I'm just so baffled by how it happened. But this knee injury, the minute it happened, I'm like, oh, in a week, the swelling will go down. I'm straight. 2 weeks go by. Nothing's getting better.
Oh,
3 weeks go
wow.
by, nothing's getting better. 4 weeks go by. I can't move my knee anymore. Like things
Yeah.
slowly progress. And so we finally went to the doctor and there's a recovery period. Point blank, net, it humbled me. And it
Mm.
taught me a couple of things. One of the things it taught me is that like you really do, as you get older, have to like pay attention to like your body. Like
Yeah, that's true.
you really got to pay attention. Like it's not a joke. Like would I like to think that I have the same body I did when I was 21? Yeah, in my mind,
Hmm.
but like it's not the
That recovery ain't the
same,
same.
right?
Yeah.
The recovery is not the same. And then also it's okay for you to redefine yourself in moments of recovery. And what I mean by that is my identity had really been tied to, in part, to the fact that I got it. Like, and
Hmm.
not just physically, like, like I'm usually the I got it friend.
Mm.
You know, when they say check on your strong friends, I'm the strong friend,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm the I always got it, don't worry about it person. So for me to have to lean on other people physically for help was hard for me.
Hmm.
But then to realize that, like, I had just gotten to a point in my fitness journey, if you guys recall, where I was really proud of my body, really proud of my gains, and I
Yeah.
couldn't do any of that anymore. Like,
Mm.
so even things that I was working towards and was really proud of got kind of like cut at the knees. And so like there was a while where I was like, okay, well, I can't do this. I can't do this. And it really kind of made me sad. Like it's weird to
Yeah.
think that like it would, but
Those things that brought you
yeah,
happiness
the things
were
that brought me
kind of pulled away
happiness.
from you
y-
unintentionally,
Yeah, and
or
things
like without you knowing.
yeah, without me knowing. And so, like, in those moments, it took me a long time to realize this is going to be a long recovery period for me because knee injuries are just rough. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like it's a knee, it's very intricate. Um, but then that redefining what success looks like physically for me is okay.
Right.
I have to
Yeah.
redefine like success for me now. I can't. I haven't squatted since August.
Mm.
Y'all know I was putting up numbers. I was putting up numbers. It was getting cute.
Yeah.
I can't squat, and who knows what a weighted squat is going to look for like for me in the
Right.
foreseeable future. Don't care anymore because that's just not where I am anymore.
Hmm.
I'm not hip thrusting a thing. Like I'm just not
Ooh,
doing
not
it.
the hip thrust.
I'm just not. But what I am doing is making small improvements on my mobility, and I'm really proud of that.
Hmm.
It's also taught me that there are other ways of strengthening and training your body outside of weightlifting. I have resumed light weightlifting with like my upper body and things like that because I like the idea of building strong muscle.
Yeah.
But I have changed what a healthy lifestyle looks like for me now, and that was hard for me to do. So
Mm.
I think the lesson is that it's okay to redefine yourself when things change.
Yeah.
Like you can't be too tied to a certain version of
Your
yourself.
old goals.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Like
It's
if
time for
life
new
changes,
goals.
yeah, it's time for something new. If life changes, it's okay to let those things go and try something different and then find your personal meter of success with that shift.
Yeah.
And so I've done that and I feel happy about that. And I think now that I have that skill set, now that I have that tool in my toolkit,
Hmm.
whenever something unexpected comes in life, I'll know how to pivot a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So that's just a lesson that I had.
Yeah.
You got to pivot. It's okay to change.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one because
Mhm.
yeah, and you're making improvements like you said, and you know I'm here to support you as you get through that
Thanks, hun.
because it's a lot. You know these knees be kneeing.
I knew you needed your knee, but I didn't know you needed it like
You
that.
need them knees.
I need my knee.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a great look at the year.
Yes.
I enjoyed going down this journey
Wasn't
with
it
you.
fun? Especially for us, it was particularly fun. But for those of you who have been with us,
Yeah.
there are some of you who listen every single week.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, for those who listen every single week, y'all are the real MVPs, and like your support, you're sharing our stuff, you're leaving voice notes, you engaging with us on our social media really does make this that much more fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that the last thing we love is y'all.
Oh my goodness.
We love y'all.
We love. That's the thing we love.
That's the thing we love. Like
Our
legit.
listeners.
It's our listeners.
I love
like
that.
super cheesy, but it's true. Because you guys make this work all that much more, I think, fruitful for us and exciting.
I love that. Well, I don't think
Woo.
there's any more to say aside from that.
Is that it?
I think that you put a nice bow on that one.
Oh, well, amen.
Well, this was yet another episode of
Yes.
the Lovers and Things podcast.
Absolutely.
Keep loving your things.
And loving your people is so important.
Love y'all.
Bye.